24 ang Tongpang Assembly Constituency laga sitting member aro advisor to Water Resources Government of Nagaland Tongpang Ozukum bra April 23 tindi talaga Thanksgiving program Cornerstone Higher Secondary School Timapur di Lua Bichide media kan lokode kota patay Ozükum bra state to water conservation aro management urban local bodies election NSSB laga viva voce aro chai takya Indo-Naga political issue upar kota patay Ito upar sangkamayar laga detailed report sa isabo.
May along with this Sir Tongpang Ozukum, Honorable Advisor, Department of Water Resources, Government of Nagaland. Nase arwi tagi ekta duita kota mengan hutilobo.
Sir, you have just attained the office of the Department of Water Resources. We understand it's very new for you, but then, sir, we are facing a lot of water shortage in the state, and especially a place like Dimapur, the commercial hub. How do you expect to go forward with this and in terms of shortage and the scarcity of water?
Actually, it is a vast subject, and it is not only the Department of Water Resources that deals with water. It is the BHA who deals with for the urban and local also. Okay. We have soil and water conservation. Okay. We have other departments who have been dealing with water-related, centrally sponsored schemes and projects. But since the Water Resource Department, we are the assigned nodal department for the water resources in the state, it becomes the responsibility of the department, for the conservation of water, for proper management of water, and also, the groundwater recharge, the extraction of groundwaters, and the judicious use of water in all forms. So that becomes the responsibility of the department. So keeping in mind those responsibilities, our department, we have come out with a roadmap for the water resources, both short-term policies and long-term strategies for use of water. So that was in 2020. So as and when we implement those roadmap, I believe people will become more conscious. And for the successful implementation of this roadmap, this vision document, it is not only the department, related departments, but the stakeholders. There are certain departments, and the water users like you and me, the farmers, we have to strictly follow the guidelines. Then only this vision document, this program will be successfully implemented in our state.
Sir, in that regard, Abuni Bra, sir, national water projects kan kumba nutun Abuni laga leadership te anibule bhabana asana nai sir.
See, this is a very technical department. We have few schemes, central schemes, and as of now in Nagaland, we are implementing the surface minor irrigation schemes. So yearly, continuously, it's been implemented, but there are certain schemes which we are unable to implement in our state. So they have their own guidelines, and they strictly follow these guidelines, for which a state like Nagaland and other smaller states in the northeast as well as in the other parts of the country, we don't qualify because of the strict guidelines. So, and there are also certain projects where the funding pattern is 50-50, in some there is 60-40, which is not at all possible for a state like us. So those schemes, with the help of the Honorable Chief Minister, we will try to explore, and then we will try to knock the ministry, and if certain relaxation can be given to us, I think those unimplemented projects can be, as a pilot project, that can be done in Nagaland also.
Sir, this time during the G20 summit, was there any funding opportunities that came for the Department of Water Resources?
No, it was specifically for the tourism and agri and allied sector, so we did not get any offer during the G20 summit. Yeah.
Sir, recently the Minister Timjonim na longbra kushigi reservation in ULP and NSSB cutoff needs revision. So itulaga opori sir, apuni as a young leader and we being a former student president, so apuni la opinion bi kya sir?
See, as far as NSSB is concerned, the objective of the government is very clear. We want to maintain, meritocracy. So with that objective, we have come up with this NSSB. Of course, it was the demand of the federation also, Naga Students Federation. But even the Honorable Chief Minister in the last term he was also quite convinced and quite determined to implement this Nagaland Staff Selection Board. So with all good intention, the cabinet has approved, and now we are about to implement. I've also had some personal discussion with the NSF leaders. I've also requested them allow this exam to continue, and if there's any loopholes detected in the exam, then there we can do the corrections, or we can review the guidelines. But I believe they also agree, and due to certain apprehension, we cannot stop the viva voce interview. So I believe good sense will prevail. Yes, we appreciate the stand of the Federation, because maybe in the past, other exams, because of that, they are having apprehensions. Because of that reason, they want to make it sure that this NSSB is conducted fairly. So with that sole intention only, they are coming up with this demand. So I believe their demands will be addressed, but I also request them. People are thirsty. The aspirants, they are thirsty to appear exams. They are thirsty for government jobs. So without discouraging them, the aspirants, I think this exam should be allowed to continue. And if there's any loopholes before the next exam is conducted, I think that can be addressed. That's what I feel.
So finally, from our side, the question about the ULB elections and the government going against the Supreme Court order. What is your stand on that? What is your take on that? And what do you think that our Chief Minister will be, what is his next step going to be?
Actually, we are not going against anybody. Actually, it is a constitutionally based directive to conduct ULB election. But since it somehow, infringes the the provision of the constitution given to the Naga people, the stakeholders, as we all know, they are protesting. They are not happy. They want certain changes to be made. So in line with that, on 28 March, the Nagaland Legislative Assembly, we have resolved to repeal the act. So in line with that, I think in the right time, government will frame another ULB act. That's what I feel. Otherwise, we're not going against anybody. We are just trying to maintain and protect our rights.
So, sir, last question ekta. So, itu par sir 14 House members kando itu naka into political issues de kiman serious ase sir. Aru itu negina. What are the steps taken by the government in regard with these talks?
See, the elected members, though we represent the people, we are not a part of the negotiating team. We act as the facilitators. So every now and then, we say that Naga political issue is the biggest issue for the Naga people. So I believe, led by the Honorable Chief Minister and all the elected members, even for us, though it is a new house, this issue is the most important issue for all of us. And as a facilitator, I think we will continue to bridge the gap between the government of India and the Naga political groups.
Sir, Naga youths kange educated unemployed problem bishi ase. Sir, Naga youths kange apuni ekta any message ekta ki di ase sir.
So I don't have a particular message to give. Yes, and unemployment is the biggest problem, and the only solution is to create job and appoint them. That is the only solution. But at this juncture, it is very difficult. I was just sharing in the program also. We are trying to phase down the employment to government jobs, because it is eating up 65% of the developmental funds. And we are using only 35% of the developmental funds for the developmental activities in Nagaland. So to create job for all the uneducated people will be a difficult task. It is my personal feeling that in order to solve this problem, or to start to resolve this unemployment problem, first of all, Nagaland should become investment friendly. We should create that atmosphere, environment. And I believe our Naga youths, I can proudly say that we are second to none, our educated youths. So we should also try to venture out. Because of the lack of opportunities here in Nagaland, I think we should also try to venture out. In the meantime, government should also try to open more, industries, factories, and make our Nagaland investment-friendly environment. Then only, I think this unemployment problem can be solved.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Okay, then. Thank you so much.
Global window bra khota kuram di tai kwado ki scarcity of water Nagaland Pradesh ti pishi chuli ase itula opor de hota hoti kuram di tai bra kushi ki department bra itu 2020 di itula opor de khota kurina 2020 de khota kurigina chuli ase aru itu negina takan road map bunai kina takan sketch out kuri ase ulibi implement kuribole rukhi kina ase guna amikan जानकारी पाइसे और सेंट्रल स्कीम्स तो लिमिटेड आहे तो इतो खान लगा ऊपर भी सेंट्रल स्कीम्स जुन तो एप्लीकेबल आसे इतो आनिबो होले भी तो पानी लगा रिलेटेड तो वाटर रिसोर्स डिपार्टमेंट एकला नहे नॉट ऑल डिपार्टमेंट्स अलग अलग पिसे आसे इतो खान लगते मिली किना काम करबला कइसे और इतो नहे किना रिसेंटली यूएलपी कैंसिल करा लगा ऊपर होता होती करा दमते ताई को गवर्नमेंट इतो असेंबली ब्रा इतो गवर्नमेंट ब्रा इतो म्युनिसिपल एक्ट 2001 रिपील करा दो इतो Naga society laga customary laga rights te itu 371 article 371A to infringe hoba takan pilashi holibi takan itu mortalities nutun bonai kina itu juntu society garne aro Nagaland Pradesh te itu effect no itu wala to bonai kina mortalities to ani kina implement korobol laga itu bi wada korise aro itu ni na NSSB laga charcha kundu tangori te chuli ase tai bra kodo Naga student federation bra juntu mang mangi ase itu bi thiki ase holibi tai appeal korise ki itia exam chuli boli la taka do chuli boli dibi appear korobo dibi holibi tadi loopholes kan kunba paise gule kaldi kan kunba dikhishi gule government by to saikina rectify korbo aro next phase of examination ita kan itu to sai sabo kona tai appeal korabi dikhi paise to viewers kan itia garne de mani for more updates keep watching Global Window moi assistant mayor muila video journalist Aziz Uchan reporting from Cornerstone Higher Secondary School Dimapur.